If you're looking to improve your aim, then make sure to check out Control Freak and use the code OGXRAYZ to get 10% off all the products. Link in the description below. Yo guys, what's up? It's XRAYZ. Welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to talk about a new article, a new study that came out today regarding video games and if violent video games make you more prone to being more aggressive, or, does it really affect kids or young adults? For the longest amount of time, this was something that the media would always talk about. Don't let your kids play violent video games. People are saying, if you play shooting games, suddenly you're going to go on a rampage with a weapon. So there's this whole idea, right? For the longest amount of time, for people who don't even play video games, who would say that if you played violent video games or just video games in general, that it would negatively affect your life. And so a new study came out today that actually says that it does not. Okay, and this is a 10-year study. This isn't something they did over the course of a couple of years. This is a 10-year study that was done, that video games, playing violent video games even as a child, does not increase aggression, which is actually kind of crazy. So let's jump into this article. If you guys enjoy it, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. And if you guys want to support the channel directly, you guys can do so by checking out my sponsors, Control Freak and Scuff. I use them every day when I'm playing. Code OGXRAYZ gets you a discount over there, link down below, or by checking out my Amazon influencer page if you guys would much rather do it that way. With that said, let's jump into it. This article is over on iflscience.com. As always, link in description below for you guys that want to read it. But you guys can see, playing violent video games as a child does not increase aggression, study suggests. Throughout the rapid rise in popularity of video games, there has consistently been staunch opposition that claims violent video games give rise to violence, despite increasing evidence stating otherwise. Hoping to finally put the debate to rest, a 10-year study published in Cyber Psychology, Behavior, and Social Networking has found no link between playing violent video games as a child and increased aggression in later years, despite playing arguably one of the most controversial titles of all time, Grand Theft Auto, at just 13 years old. The children that played for many hours showed no increased aggression over those that played little or no hours when analyzed 10 years later. The data backs up existing findings that violent tendencies likely don't stem from violent video games, but it also provides insight into how many of the teens used games as a coping mechanism for mental health issues. Writing about adolescents that played the most GTA when young, the authors explains how the teens may have used the video games to distract themselves from ongoing issues, but that more detailed research would be needed to understand it. Discussing children who have started their early adolescence with video games or violent video games, quote, this group displayed higher depressive symptoms during early adolescence, but decreased anxiety. It's possible that this group was using violent video games to manage or cope with depressive symptoms, unquote, the author wrote. Quote, previous researchers have shown that playing video games as a coping mechanism or distraction from mental health problems may be effective, although these studies have failed to consider the content of video games played. The study has a longitudinal study, which means these researchers repeatedly recorded the same variable over a 10-year study period. Longitudinal studies are ideal for this type of data, as the data looks at how the teen grows as whole whilst playing video games, and their game playtime can be compared to the personality outcomes of later life. However, studies such as this require extensive trial periods, so are rare for video game research. Involving 500 participants, the researchers recruited children with an average age of almost 14 years old and completed questionnaires over the trial period to report the frequency of playing video games. Each game was allocated a violence rating of 0 to 5, with 5 being the most violent. At the start and at the end of the trial period, the participants' aggression was measured using a questionnaire alongside measuring other factors such as anxiety, depression, and prosocial behavior that benefits society as a whole. The results suggested that teens following 1 or 3 patterns of playing violent video games, Group 1 played many hours early in life, but decreased sharply as they got older. Group 2 played a moderate amount all the way through their teens and slightly increased playtime as they entered adulthood. And Group 3, the largest group, played very little to start, but increased their playtime as they got older. Despite playing a lot when young, the children in Group 1 showed a strong decrease in game time, which the author suggests may have involved an intervention from their carers, maybe affecting the outcome. The children in Group 1 with the most violent game time when young showed no significant decrease in adulthood aggression to those that played very little. The moderate group who played consistently through teens showed the highest level of aggression. These findings suggest that playing violent video games early on in development is a poor predictor of aggression later in life. Although it is possible that sustained playing throughout early life could be linked to more aggression later on, this would need further study to verify. Holy crap. Like all studies, there are limitations to results. All data was collected by self-reporting, which can have a degree of bias and may not be a true representation of the regression and or game time. However, with such a large number of participants over a long period of time, self-reporting remains the most viable option for these types of studies. So basically what they're saying is they found a group, right? So they had one group where they played a lot and then slowly kind of tapered off. They had a group that really didn't play a lot and then played a lot towards their later years into adulthood. And then one group that played from adolescence pretty consistently all the way through. And it looks like for them, their aggression might have actually gone up because they played consistently, or maybe not a ton, but just a consistent amount over the course of their young adult life or just leading up to adulthood. So it looks like just in general, what they're trying to say is that they found no correlation between playing violent video games and having increased aggression, and that if there was one outlier in this, it might be that actually playing consistently as opposed to playing a lot and then kind of tapering off, or starting off with not a lot and then going through, that those really aren't affected. So it looks like they're gonna have to do a little bit more research on that. But anyways, guys, just wanted to talk about this because this has been something that they talk about a lot. The media talked about it, like it was big in the media years ago. I remember as a kid, my mom always told me like, don't play those violent video games, they're gonna make you aggressive. So it's just one of those things where now there's a study that says that these people who played a ton and when they were young and then kind of stopped playing as they got older, didn't really affect them. People who started off playing nothing and then kind of played more, didn't really affect them at all. And then the people who actually played consistently seem to be the ones who were mostly affected by an increase in aggression. So I guess that's a smaller portion of it, and they'll have to do some research there, but just it looks like overall what they're saying is that they found no correlation really between playing violent video games as a kid and then, you know, growing into adulthood. So there we go. Play some Resident Evil 7 or some Silent Hill 2. To stick your 13-year-old kid in front of that, they're gonna be cool. All right, they're gonna be fine. Play some Star Wars, okay? Your Lego. Play Lego games, okay? But yeah, so anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys found the video informative, helpful, and entertaining. If you did, drop a like, guys. Super appreciated. If you're new, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. And if you guys want to support the channel directly, you guys can do so by checking out my sponsors. Control Freak and Scuff, I use them every day when I'm playing. Code OGXRAYZ gets you a discount over there. Or by checking out my Amazon influencer page if you guys would much rather do it that way. If you guys want to talk about anything, Twitter, literally the best place to do so. At OGXRAYZ, link down below if you guys want to interact, see what's up, or see what I'm up to, or over on twitch.tv/theOGXRAYZ. But anyways, you guys have an awesome day. Take care. I'm out. Peace.